How are you all doing tonight? My name is Bigbobbedboi and welcome. It's time to get back to farming. Now, I had heard it mentioned before that there was good mining farms in Steamvault and also good chest farms. Maybe even good cloud farming. So I decided I had to jump in here and try to figure it out. And holy shit, it took a lot longer than I thought. Like, I thought this would be easy. This was the wrongest I had ever been in my life, even wronger than when I said yes to Backdoor Brenda. But I learned a lot. Let me share that with you. Oh wait, so I was literally about to publish this video, then Blizzard did a beta update which nerfed slave pens farming, so I had to go back and recheck all of this. Thanks, Blizz. First, let's cover specs. So you can do it as any spec, but definitely survival is best. Having Imp FD, deterrence, and even readiness for a second FD increases your survivability by a lot. Pets. For the love of Hunter Jesus, bring a wolf. We'll talk about it later, but a wolf is best, which is usually the case anyway, but it can be done with other pets. Professions. Herbalism is not bad here, but I didn't get an herbalist route done. I did see a lot of ancient lichen, a lot of fellweed, and some flame cap. I did, however, go in here as mining and got a pretty good mining route. Fell iron, adamantite, and even a few times I came across Khorium. Finally, engineering. Yeah, we got water clouds in here. Well, water cloud. There's only one in the instance. I also just sat in the instance for over an hour to see if it would respawn, and it did not. I am going to do a video on just mote extracting probably this week, so get ready for that. Alright, from there, chests. There are a few places that are hard to see, so I'm not positive, but I think there are always 2 chest spawns. I've gotten 2 chests in one run on more than one occasion. In fact, most of the time, there's 2 chests. Now, there are quite a few spawn points for these chests. One is directly in front of the steps from the entrance. I cannot get this one. I tried for like 6 hours just for this chest. There's one in, I don't know, a tube in front of the first boss's ramp. I couldn't get this one either. The water elemental patrol would always fuck things up. If I pulled them with my pet, he was dead. If I left them, then they would patrol into me while I was opening the chest. But there might be a way to get this one that I didn't figure out. In front of that pack, there's another pack with an easy to get chest. Just eyes of the beast pull the mobs far away. And there is a possible chest spawn in the tunnel, watch out for that one as well. Although I've only come across this one time. Last spawn is in the room before Calathresh, the last boss. I only have footage of one spawn in this room, but for some reason I was thinking there were 2 in this room. Either way, this is super easy to get. Just pet pull the mobs and run over to the bridge with no rails and jump off. As long as your pet doesn't despawn, they'll go all the way to Africa to find your pet and you can loot the chest. Bad thing is, the chest loot might not be that great. I opened around 15 to 20 and I only got greens with potions. I'm pretty sure they do have some blues in them, like the slave pens chest did. And I've just been pretty unlucky, but that is what I got. So once TBC goes live and we have some more info on what's in the chest, I'll put that in a pinned comment. Alright, this is where things are going to get really rough. Let's cover this mining route I came up with. First 2 guys aren't a big deal. I usually just run by them and trap or wing clip, scatter if you have it. They're nothing special. These bog lords, they are special, like that guy in the Goonies. They do an unacceptable amount of damage. Unacceptable. They have one-shot my pet. So you do have to be really careful with them. There are 2 in a row here and they see through stealth and viz, so you cannot pot. You can do each one separately with a pet passive pull if you want, but I have been able to do both at once. You can do an eyes of the beast pull, get both of them, let them catch up to your pet so you have time to move, then FD in the safe spot. Doing both at once is riskier, but I do like that I can see what mining nodes are up. That way I can plan the rest of my route here. So that's the way I'm going to recommend. This spot after these two bog lords is also the first place we can have a mining node. It's in a safe spot, so just mine it. Now the next pull I like to do different based on what mining nodes have spawned. There are a possible 3. One is really close. One is on top of a mountain, and then there's one way in the back. If only the one way in the back is up, I just use an invis pot and run all the way to it. You can get by without it, but that one requires a few more pulls and you gotta time some patrols. But once you're actually on it, it is a safe spot. The one in the mountain isn't very hard. It's also in a safe spot. You can Eyes of the Beast pull fairly safely, then FD on top of the mountain. The close one is actually really tricky because there's a patrol that will spot you while you're mining. So you need to pop in for one hit, then back out while he patrols, and repeat. But there's also a big water elemental patrol to watch out for as well. Don't forget to check the chest locations and see if any of those are doable for us. And then once we're done with all that, jump in the water here and swim all the way to this little cave. There is no ore in the water, but there are herbs sometimes. Then we come to this little tunnel bullshit, and this place, honestly, it's just fucked. The slave masters have really weird behavior when it comes to aggro. Using Howl to pull them back to your pet is the best option, but even that works like only half the time. So be ready to wing clip and run. I don't Eyes of the Beast pull here. I do a pet passive pull and pull them back into the tunnel.
It's too far away.
Safe spot is to the left of the tunnel exit, and there's an ore spawn here. Now, if there's no ore spawn, you can potentially double pull here, but I wouldn't even try it without a wolf, because you need the slaves and taskmasters on your pet. Then you run through and pull the first pack of gnomes and jump in the water. But normally we'll stop at the spot near the taskmasters, then pull the gnomes in a separate pull, which is an Eyes of the Beast pull where you jump in the water. Or you can just pet passive and let your pet die. I do that pretty often because it's usually faster anyway. And sometimes the pet will behave weird in the water. Now we're in the big room with the second boss, and yeah, there's a lot of spawns in this room. Usually there's 2 nodes up, but I think there are at least 3 spawn points. You don't have to worry about pulling the boss, just stick to the edges of the room. There's only one spawn point that's kind of out of the way, and that's off to the left side. There's also an herb spawn point here. Now, if you do have to go all the way to that one off to the left side, you will need to do one more pet pull. But just do a normal pet passive pull and you'll be safe. I would, however, say don't try to just run past that group because there's a lot of mobs and I've been FD resisted there a lot. If you're an engineer, this is also the room with the water cloud. I usually get 4 or 5 motes from the cloud. At this point we're done for herbing and mining, but there's a chest spawn if you want to go back for it. You can run your pet there to see if it's even up before you go out of your way to get there. If it's up, jump back in the water and swim up the cave ramp again. This time we want to go to the right. We do have a few slaves to deal with again, but this is such a wide open area with lots of safe spots that it's really no trouble. Pet pull, don't pet pull, it really doesn't matter. The chest spawns in this group here. Aggro the pack with your pet and throw him in the water. FD, grab the chest, and then that's it. I'm sure this route can be improved. I might even try working on it some more, so let me know your ideas on how to speed it up. I would assume the herbalism route is similar, although would require more pet pulls since a lot of the herbs have mobs on top of them. Alright, this farm definitely has some problems. Let's talk about those now. It is fucking dangerous. My pet dies so fast. Way faster than anything in Dire Maul North. And what makes this worse is the mobs are so buggy. They will aggro from 2 yards away or 10 yards away. Now I know this happens on live. I especially notice it when I try to Eyes of the Beast pull King and Show Rush. But it feels even worse here. And some mobs will just decide at random if they want to attack me or my pet. How will help with that, but it doesn't solve it. I'm gonna hope some of this is just beta shit that will be fixed by launch, because I do report this stuff. I came across a ton of weird bugs in here, like my pet just randomly being restored to full HP. That happened all the time. The patrols. There are a ton of patrols in here, and that actually makes Night Elf a really good option for this, so there's that, I guess. Once you're finished though, there's no real easy way to leave. You can just die and res, but I'll probably do the half-hour long logout most of the time. One nice thing though, there is a repair and vendor outside as long as you have the rep. Lastly, there are very few safe spots. I found a few. There's this ledge next to the first boss, so if you get an FD resist or whatever, you can try to get here to live. I was able to evade mobs by jumping in the water and grinding this pillar, but it was really inconsistent. I could not do it every time. There's an easy safe spot to get to near the last boss, but it's not particularly useful. I guess you can see where the invisible walls are, and I couldn't find any good pathing tricks, which means we don't kill any mobs here. There is a nice horseshoe shape by the second boss, which is what we normally use to solo mobs in dungeons, but there are an assload of leper gnomes there, and some of them are ranged, so you'd probably have to kill those in order to use it. The only kind of good pathing tricks are in the water. You can pet jump off the bridge, or sometimes mobs will just path weird in the water, even if it's a direct line to you. Kind of like my pet is doing here. They go all the way down to the bottom for some reason. Okay, that sounds like a lot of negatives. So is this actually worth doing? Yeah, okay, it probably is, but I can't really say for certain right now. If you're engineering and mining or herbing, this could be really good. Being able to mote extract water motes is really nice on its own, and that might be a good amount of gold depending on your economy. Mining should be pretty profitable here. I'm averaging 3 nodes per run, usually 1 in the front and 2 in the back. And you gotta remember, in TBC you don't just get ore, you can also get earth or fire motes with your ore. Khorium especially gave me a lot of motes of fire. Motes of fire are pretty expensive. Herbing, not positive, but it looked like I would be able to average 3 hits of lichen and or fellweed each run. But I don't have any plans on going herbalist on my hunter anyway, so I'm not going to run back and test this. The chests are kind of a wild card here because I don't know the loot table, but also currently I don't think engineers can open those chests if they're locked. There is a new rank of Khorium in TBC, but it was a 2.1 item. So we can't get it, although it is needed for flying machines, which are on the beta right now, so I don't know, that's really weird. I checked the vendor multiple times and I could not get the schematic for the new rank of Khorium. I will say, if we were just here for only mining, it might not be worth it. Pretty much all of the ore nodes are in safe places, so a rogue can blaze through here grabbing those. Downside is a rogue can't solo any of the chests. They would need at least 1 person to help, so you will probably see 2 rogue chest farming. The best thing going for this farm is probably that it's so fast. You can grab all of these nodes in less than 10 minutes, and I'm sure there's room to speed that up. So that's what I've come up with for Steamvault solo farming. What do you think? Does it look worth it? Looks like dope shit, or just straight shit? Let me know. I'm also interested to know if you think I should work on this farm more, go back to slave pens now that it's been nerfed, or try another dungeon altogether. I do like this farm, but I don't think Hunter Jesus has yet blessed us with the new DM North farm. But I will keep praising Hunter Jesus until he elucidates me. If you enjoy the video, hit that sub button, bell, like button, praise it button, share button, all that other shit. I appreciate each and every one I get. This channel even has memberships now. You can check them out by clicking the join button right by the sub button. It is absolutely the best way to support the channel because ad revenue does not do it. And you'll get some really cool emotes. Plus it's way better and cheaper than a Twitch sub. We've gotten a lot of new members here lately. Massive thanks to those big bobbed wonderful people. I've got a lot of WoW content already on the channel and have much more coming, including streaming right here on YouTube, so be sure to stick around for that. If there's any specific WoW Classic or TBC Classic content you'd like to see, be sure to let me know in them comments. But that is going to be all for this one. I really appreciate you all watching, and I will see you all for the next one.